Hello everybody, I'm Storm here, and today we're going to be starting up a new series playing Stellaris in the new Megacorp DLC and 2.2.2 patch that just recently came out. So I'm getting up a new series started here with a new civilization, taking advantage of a lot of the new mechanics, and we'll see how things go. Now, this particular series is also going to be set in the same universe, the same continuity as the previous two series, set about, say, I think it's about 6,000 years or so after the end of the Alarian series, which I think was 2 series back, after the galaxy has gone through another cycle of fragmentation and regression. And so we're going to be going through a new cycle of expansion, and we'll see how things go there. If you hadn't seen the Alarian series, where we ended with that, we were playing as a democratic republic, but when we got towards the end of that series, we were in the midst of just a massive endgame crises. We had the contingency, we had multiple interdimensional invaders, we had the Praetorian Scourge. The galaxy was not exactly in the greatest of states, but because a new DLC had come out with a new non-save compatible patch, and I was trying to cobble things together and keep it going for as long as I could, but eventually the game just would not function anymore, and so we kind of had to stop and move on. So, what I've gone ahead and done is written up a bit of story to kind of catch us up to the current state of the galaxy, work with some of the other viewers of some of my previous series to kind of help refine it a little bit, and I'll go ahead and read through that now, and that'll catch us up to kind of what situation the galaxy currently is in. So, after a century of fighting the AI contingency, multiple waves of extra-dimensional invaders, and horrors from beyond the Galactic Rim, the galaxy was finally at peace. However, much of galactic civilization was destroyed. Numerous races had been driven entirely extinct. The Alarian Republic was one of the dozen or more remaining surviving civilizations. Over the course of the next century, almost all of the remaining galaxy came under the rule of the Republic, forming a new great angelic republic. For the next 5 millennia, there was peace. But like all great empires, internal forces began pulling it apart at the seams. Numerous small rebellions began popping up amongst the various member states. Also, growing divergence in opinions on how to structure the Republic government arose. One favoring the ancient Grand Senate based on Earth, the other favoring a more tiered oligarchical senatorial system based on Alaria. This ultimately led to a schism that sparked a massive civil war. Those favoring Democratic Republic on Earth as the Angelic Republic, and those favoring an oligarchical Senate on Alaria calling themselves the Alarian Confederation. As the Republic tore itself apart, one force that had long bided its time made its move. The Octi-Lan, whose hatred of all life not them had only grown over the centuries, had been slowly building a massive fleet hidden beyond the Galactic Rim. Taking advantage of the chaos, they struck, waging a campaign of genocide against all life not them. The opposing sides of the Civil War were slow to respond. However, they did declare a truce to deal with a new threat. The Octi-Lan were slowly driven back to their own territory, but not before nearly a quarter of the galaxy was purged. As the Octi-Lan were contained, conflict erupted again between the two factions. The Angelic Republic on Earth favored negotiated peace and containment. The Alarian oligarchy favored eradication of the threat. As the two governments argued, the Alarian Confederation took the initiative and launched their new secret weapon, a colossus capable of destroying entire planets. They unleashed it on the Octi-Lan before the Republic could respond and destroyed the Octi-Lan core worlds. As far as is known, the Octi-Lan were completely eradicated. The Confederation then looked to turn their new weapon on the Republic. They were successful in destroying 2 heavily populated planets before the Republic were able to rally their fleet and destroy the weapon. As the war raged on for over another century, galactic civilization disintegrated. Some species fell completely back to pre-spaceflight technological levels. Now, 6,000 years after the galaxy was once united, the remains of the two warring factions have retreated to their own sections of the galaxy, holding in a Cold War state. New civilizations, and some old ones, are now reaching back out into the galaxy. So there we are. So we are going to have some civilizations, some species returning from some of the previous series. So that should be interesting. We'll see how that shows up. And we have the two factions that are still out there, poised to try to take control of the galaxy again. But our civilization is emerging into the galaxy for the first time. Into this environment. So, what I also did was wrote up some story about about our civilization and how it came to be in the situation that we currently are in, and how we're going to be structuring things. I want to go over that a little bit before I get into detail about our species and how things are set up, because basically it would kind of spoil things a little bit. So let me go ahead and read through that, and then we'll go over our new race and start getting things done. Alright, so for our new civilization here, 200 years ago, our world was in the midst of a growing information age. Global telecommunications were making the world smaller and smaller every day. Space exploration efforts were sending unmanned probes to many of the planets in our system. Manned expeditions to several of the planets in our system were also being planned. However, the world was still divided into numerous nation-states with their own agendas, alliances, and rivalries, and it was in this environment that the Visitor arrived from the stars. Using technology far more advanced than ours, he landed on our world completely undetected. He was drawn to our world by something that our scientists had not yet discovered: our species' latent psionic potential. Initially, he just observed us from the shadows, slowly selecting specific individuals. One by one, he revealed himself to them. In exchange for loyalty and secrecy, he promised to give great power. Those who accepted became his apprentices. Those who refused disappeared. The Visitor made good on his promise, teaching his new acolytes to wield their hidden psionic power. This granted them abilities once only thought to exist in fantasy: telekinesis, telepathy, and the like. He also taught them to use their power to greatly extend their lifespan. The 15 who survived the training were granted one final boon: a weapon that, once attuned to the wielder's psionic signature, would forge their psionic energy into a blade of light. This new circle of 15 then went back out into the world, occupying positions of influence across the planet. Slowly, the 15 began selecting new members for this new cult, who were then trained as well. Those who were not deemed worthy to join or necessary to achieve the cult's goals were brought under thrall by their telepathic powers. Within a half-century, cultists or their thralls occupied positions of power and influence in every major nation in the world. After 3/4 of a century, the entire planet was nearly under their control. The cult manipulated cultural trends and economies. They even orchestrated entire wars to achieve their goals and hide their presence. Even though all members of the cults know of the Visitor's existence, and that he is alien to our world, only those invited into the inner circle of the cult are aware of his true nature. In fact, many within the cult speculate that there are actually numerous Visitors orchestrating the cult's activities from the top. About 50 years ago, two of the world's major superpowers declared war, causing a conflict that would rage for nearly a decade and see the deaths of millions. It was all a front, however, driven by cult members controlling both nations. The result was that a new, united global government emerged, supported by the common people and entirely run by cultists and their thralls. The world then experienced a technological boom, as advances derived from reverse-engineered technology from the Visitor's starship were introduced, disguised as new technological breakthroughs. Efficient manned exploration of the home system became a reality. Then, 5 years ago, the first successful FTL test was conducted. Now our people look to reach out to the stars. The cult, however, has other plans. From the visitor, or visitors, they know that other civilizations exist out in the galaxy, and they look to manipulate and control them as well. So, that's where we're at. And we're going to be playing as a subversive cult. Let's see if I go into government. We don't have a leader yet. We'll be going over that. But yeah, we are a subversive cult. The government is structured like a religious cult that relies on a variety of criminal and corporate enterprises to sustain itself. We have criminal heritage. And then gospel of the masses. We also have co-dominant employees, which we'll be going over that in a moment. And we have ruthless competition, because I just needed something else to throw in there. Now, because we are corporate, we are a mega corporation here, we do hold an election every 20 years to select a new ruler. In fact, we are in a position where we need to select a new first minister. However, this is all a front put on for our own people and the rest of the galaxy. All rulers are going to be selected from amongst cultist members, so there's no actual real democracy going on here. In fact, in our election, we only have a single candidate for First Minister, and it's Mac Dakara, who is a cultist. So, if we go over to species, we have set this up with it's a modded trait for co-dominant evolution in order for me to set up 2 different versions of our species. In base, we are the Vhari. And this is what we are. And then we have cultists. So we are step preference, because we're going to be living on, our home world is a step world. We are industrious, we are intelligent, and we are, well, I had to throw in a negative in there, so I have the sedentary trait. Then we have the cultists. They are also obviously step preference. They are venerable, so they have leader lifespan plus 80 years. They are psionic, so they have a psionic trait. And then for negatives, we have solitary, we have wasteful, and they are slow breeders. And the reason why I put slow breeders in there is because I want to make sure that the cultists remain kind of a minority population in the realm, in the Empire, because, you don't want the entire population being dominated by the cultists. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. Alright, so here is our home system. And here's our home world. Oh, we need to assign a governor. There we go. And as far as leaders, I went ahead and set things up so that all of our leaders are cult members. So far, we only have a governor and some scientists, but if we get any admirals or generals, I want to make sure that those come from amongst the cult as well. And let's see, what else do we want to go over before we get things started? So, I mean, I guess if for the look of our race, those who are familiar with Final Fantasy XIV will know that is the Mikote race. I found a mod for it, so I thought it would be nice to use, so that's what we're going to be using. And for ship set, we are using the Asari ship set from that I have used in previous series before. I really like it, so I'm going to go ahead and reuse it in this particular series for this race. I thought it fit, so that's what we're going to go for. So this is our current Corvette. I did not put in any new technology or weapons mods. I tried to reduce the number of mods that we're going to be running in this series as opposed to previous ones, because I ran into a lot of performance problems as the game progresses, and I'm thinking that a lot of the mods may have been some of the cause. So we're going to be going with, I mean, there's still a not insignificant amount of mods, though most of them are just cosmetic. But in terms of altering mechanics of the game, there's not as many of those. So, I think that probably covers most everything. And if anything else comes up, you guys can always ask in comments if I missed something, or you'd like clarification on some point. Or we'll see how things progress as we work on stuff. So, let's go ahead and actually get started playing the game. First thing we need to do is select some research. Oh yeah, we need to assign scientists. Alright, so... Alright, I have... Gani Jadalat there in our science vessel, so the other science positions need to be filled. For physics, we're going to go with Bur Batorak there. And then for society, we're going to go with Miki Basirim. And then we're going to go with, well, Vaki Ba'arin there as our only other remaining scientist. So let's go ahead and see what we're going to do about researching here. Field manipulation, energy credits from technicians, zero-G laboratories, research station output. I like the idea of research station output. Fruit from farmers. Genome mapping, population growth speed, society research, and I guess we'll go with powered. Let's see, powered exoskeletons or afterburners or armor. Let's go with tier 2 armor straight out of the gate. All right, and let's take a look at our ship design again. Picket ship, missile boat, interceptor. I think we're going to switch over to interceptor, because we really aren't going to need the point defense, I don't think. Though, I mean, it does work with missiles, but I would rather get something that has more offensive punch. And do we want to go with mass drivers or energy weapons? Shield damage, armor damage. I think we probably want to go with energy weapons early in the game. So yeah, we'll set up with energy weapons. Wait a minute, do I have auto-generated designs? Yeah, there we go, we want to make sure that's off. Reactor booster, do we need it? No, we don't need it. Okay. Power reactor, hyperdrive, chemical thrusters, radar systems. Let's see, what's this? Basic combat computer, charge straight at enemies, advance to close range and attempt to intercept. What's our range? 40. I think we'll go with the basic combat computer here. Picket tactics. So let's go ahead and unpause it. Let's get it moving. And let's see, we can build a new building here. Now this whole planetary system is completely changed from the previous version of the game. So I am not 100% familiar with how everything is working. I haven't really played this new DLC much at all, so we'll see how things go. Let's see, what do we got? What's this? An ancient mystical order of protectors defend the world from all external threats. That sounds somewhat interesting. I think these are coming from a mod. It's all we can really build, so
construction complete.
okay, so we now have a new ruler. Perfect. Who was the only candidate? Let's see, what do you have? Space miner, mining station output, mining station build cost, our architectural sense, building cost down, district cost down, planet build speed reduced. Alright. So, one thing we need to do here is we need to get our science ship out investigating the local space. That looks interesting. Survey it. Construction ship. Build some mining stations. And so this is our science vessel. And then we have our construction ship over here, just to get a good view of it. There's the constructors. Alright, and our main star base here. Alright, what do we got? What can we put on here? Resource silos, target uplink computer, communications jam disruption, solar panel network. Oh yeah, we have this new alloys resource. Build that. Now the goal in this series is to not expand and try and conquer the entire galaxy. We're going to want to build. I know it's a bit cliche at this point, but try to build tall rather than wide. And our goal is going to be to manipulate and take advantage of the other civilizations, not necessarily conquer them. This is an interesting system. I think what I'd probably like to get is also a new science ship as soon as I have enough alloy to do that. Because getting a bunch of science ships out operating early is going to be useful. And here's our fleet. Actually, they need to be sent in for upgrades. Alright, let's get that science ship going. And we're going to need a scientist. We're going to need a scientist.
Construction complete.
Okay, we don't have any cultist members here. So I'm going to need to do a little bit of manipulation to get one. Basically, it's going to be dismissing these guys. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take care of that here. I'm going to pause while I take care of business. Alright, well, that didn't take too long. We now have this scientist, Bani the Kut. We'll go ahead and recruit you. On to our starbase has finished the construction queue. Alright, good. Alright, so for this science vessel, we're going to go ahead and assign you. And go ahead and send you out to survey. I'd like a third once we get some more alloys going. Alright, so these guys should now all be upgraded to the new design. You are not. Preparing for ship upgrades. Okay, they haven't actually run their upgrade yet. It needs 115 alloy. Okay, so I need to wait for the alloys to come up. Build research stations. Now the research stations just use minerals, not alloys. Okay, that's good. Now, where in this new interface does it tell me how many? Okay, so it looks like we're having the Cybrex early precursor event, which actually makes some semblance of sense. Because, well, the Cybrex were something that we discovered before, and I guess information about them was lost at some point, which again also makes sense. So we're rediscovering the Cybrex. Alright, we have recovered artifacts from ancient alien civilization on Coria 5. Incredibly, this civilization was apparently referred to itself as the Cybrex. Seems to have been made up of machines that were linked together in some sort of collective consciousness. The age of the artifacts indicate that they were active some 600,000 years ago, which may need to be modified based on the time frame we're in. In this portion of the galaxy at least, but we have learned nothing of their exact origins. According to a partial data fragment that our scientists managed to extract from the artifacts, the Cybrex at some point launched a crusade to destroy all sapient organic life in the galaxy for reasons unknown.
Situation log updated.
Alright, so we're gonna be having that. Now, obviously, even though we are set in the same continuity, it is a randomly generated galaxy, so not everything is going to be the same. You know, that's just the reality of things. Alright, the United Vhari Alliance is abuzz with news of alien remnants studied by the VFS Tamiri. These leavings are considered definitive proof of intelligent, purposeful alien activity at some point in the past. We may still be alone now, but we are at least not the first to be so. Okay. These guys are still waiting for upgrade.
Anomaly found.
Okay. Our initial scans have caught an irregular signal reminiscent of our own distress patterns. It'll take 180 days to research. Go ahead and hit it. This is looking like to be a fairly decent system. We got some energy credits, we got some minerals, we have some trade value. Now we do have traditions mods installed, so we have lots more traditions. And let's see, anything we want to change on policies? Unrestricted wars. First contact protocols peaceful. Resettlements allowed, that makes sense for us. Initial border status open. I think we'll leave that for now. Nutritional plentitude. Okay. Economic policy, militarized economy.
Vessels.
Alright, our ships have been upgraded. Robotic workers are allowed, refugees, citizen species only. Population controls allowed. Slavery is allowed, I guess. Purge. Displacement only. So we can only kick people out, we can't eradicate.
Construction complete.
We are going to need to decide what our leadership policy is going to be. I do want to kind of keep it as cultists, primarily. But as far as allowing Xenos into leadership positions, or allowing Xenos into the cult, I'm not exactly sure about doing just yet. Alright, anything else that we can do here? We can expand our number of ships. See, lost in space. The signal we intercepted was a distress call from a ship in orbit around Steradon 3B. The ship is not giving off any heat signatures and seems to be drifting. A special project has been issued to investigate what happened to the crew. Intriguing. Alright, we'll take a look at that in a second.
Log updated.
Let's bump this up to 5 ships. It required 220 alloys to build those ships, so we'll need to wait for that a little bit. Situation log. Just kind of still familiarizing myself where everything is in the interface. Alright, derelict ship, track on map, go to. We need, what do we need? A scientist present. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and queue that in. After you finish your survey, take care of that. Okay, now blockers, fertile lands, a searing desert. Let's see. Habitable world survey. We now know without a doubt that a thriving biosphere is not something unique to Vharis. Both the scientific community and the public at large are eager to learn more about the various forms of alien life found throughout the galaxy. Efforts to catalog the life forms we encounter are already underway, but our xenobiologists have urged us to focus on planetary survey of efforts on habitable, life-bearing worlds. Sure. Let's see. Let's get rid of that sprawling slums. Let's get rid of that. These are expensive to remove. Mining district, generator district. Agricultural district improves food output. Mining, I don't think I really need. Population and jobs are fine. Rare planetary features. Oh, I should probably go over those before we end here, because we're kind of toward the end of the episode. So, what rare features do we have on our steppe world planet? We have arid highlands, an elevated dry ecoregion bearing sparse vegetation, desert grasses, and shrubs. Max generator districts +1. We have a searing desert. Max generator districts +2. We have geothermal vents, which gives us more generator districts. Mineral fields for mining districts. Prosperous mesa. Flat topped hill has steep sides lined with useful resources. Nice. Submerged ore veins. Useful ore deposits line parts of the ocean floor, providing opportunities for deep-sea mining, so more mining districts. Bountiful plains, fertile lands, and black soil. Remarkably high moisture capacity and high amounts of chemicals integral to plant life. These soils provide or promise impressive agricultural yields. Nice. Okay, so I think what we'll do is just go ahead and end here. And then we will continue exploring the galaxy and seeing what we can get up to when we come back next episode. So for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.